Hello, my loves, and welcome to the Aquarius season astrology card reading. Yeah! If I had an intro song, that's what it would be. My name is Kellyanne, and I am a guide and a lover of people who are compassionate and really trying to recover from that people pleaserdom, the perfectionism, because that's the path that I've been on for many years of my life. And the thing that I love doing with the card readings, a little sneak peek for you, is giving people who are in that recovery mode a sense of understanding of what to look out for as far as things in each astrological season that we can use to our benefit in the healing, in the recovery process. There are always in every astrological season, which switches every month around between the 20th and the 22nd of every month. We just came from Capricorn season and we're now in Aquarius, which is the water bearer. Every astrological season gives us something a little different flavor, a flavor of healing that we can use to, like I said, our benefit. And if we aren't necessarily focused on healing and growing, if we're focused on integrating some of the lessons that we've just recently learned, if we are focused on resting, we can still benefit from all of the shifts and energies that we experience in each season. And I really hope that if you are in a rest season, that you don't try and jump out of it in order to catch every wave, because that's not the point. It's not the point of the growing and healing process. We need rest. We need those chicken soup for the soul moments where we are just down and giving our bodies time to, like I said, integrate. So just remember, as you are going along on your journey, give yourself those times. Give yourself those moments when you are just integrating. This is, I already know, spoiler, I already know what's going on with this whole reading because I did this video already. It got interrupted. I tried uploading it. It took 16 hours to try and upload this fucking video. So I'm remaking it in the hopes that it'll only take 2 hours the way that I'm doing it if I can record it in one take. So I already know what's going on in here, and if I jump around a little bit, I apologize in advance. I hope that you forgive me. I know that you will because you're a compassionate soul. And I also already know that in this, another spoiler or a maybe even a trigger warning for those of you who are got a really tight vice grip on control. There is a big perfectionism releasing control message in here. So I would love for you, just like I talk about in my podcast, to have some water with you and to be hydrating as you go, because your body is going to be maybe experiencing a lot of things as your mind processes what this means for you, what all these messages mean for you. Just remember to be hydrating and taking deep breaths, because you gotta give yourself that processing fluidity. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to. Some of these pills, are harder to swallow without. That being said, we are going to get into the message for this month, for this astrological month and season. The very first message is very connected to Aquarian energy in and of itself. So if you got to watch my Capricorn season wrap-up video, which I will link right here, it's a short one, so if you want to go and play catch-up before you get into this, go and do that. If you watch the Capricorn season wrap-up video, you know that we have been working on kind of determining which of our relationships are ones that not just like aren't serving me anymore, but have like a story that we wrote in our heads that is no longer true. And Capricorn season was the time, like I said, every astrological season we get sort of like a flavor of healing and growth that we get to munch on. And Capricorn season was the time to kind of chew on all of those stories and coming back to cutting cords and releasing any other like parts of relationships that maybe haven't been resolved. And like I talk about in that video, I gained a lot of wisdom through just seeking the wisdom from myself and asking Sal, source of abundant love, asking Sal, can you please just like help me understand what's going on here? And sure enough, in one of the relationships that I was questioning, I got to, well, just watch the video, okay? But it'll come back around in this message. The thing about Aquarius season, now that we've come from Capricorn season and we've got to like suss out those sus relationships, what we get to do in Aquarius season is receive more of that wisdom. Aquarius is symbolized by the water bearer, and it always feels like there's just like endless pouring of energy because Aquarius is an air sign with that sort of fluid, watery nature. There's this sort of like spiritual, emotional headiness that comes with Aquarian energy. So the first message that we have is the Paradox card and the Share Wisdom card. And this is from the Threads of Fate Oracle deck, the Shadow Edition. I freaking love it. Thank you, Instagram ads, for like the one ad that you really showed me where I was like, drool, that's mine. I own this already. Click, 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 take my money. The paradox that we're experiencing in the receiving of wisdom is that it's not just wisdom that we are sharing with others. It's not just wisdom that we are asking Sal for to come and like have that poured into us. The paradox here is something that Aquarians, I think, have a lot of difficulty with, which is asking for help and asking for advice, asking for other people's input. Now, when it comes to advice, the unsolicited kind is really fucking annoying and not the kind of thing that we want to encourage from other people. But if there are people in our lives that we trust and respect, who love us and who have heard us out when we've spoken about our dreams and have made us feel valid in dreaming that bigly, then those are probably the people that you can go to and say, I normally just need an ear to listen, a shoulder to cry on, but today I think I need some words of wisdom. And seeking, with boundaries in place, seeking wisdom from certain particular people will help us in Aquarius season to see all possibilities for a lot of different things. The sort of main message that I've gotten from this reading is that we are going to be experiencing a little bit of chaos in Aquarius season. Aquarians are also like very spacey, very alien, very like out of this world and ethereal. And I think when we see things that we can't quite understand or things that we can't explain, we jump very quickly to trying to solve things or trying to find answers. And in Aquarius season, the suspension of belief, the suspension of disbelief and belief, both just fully hands off the wheel, is what we are being encouraged to do. Because while we have a lot of while we have the opportunity to get a lot of things done in Aquarius season and see a lot of things come to fruition, one of the biggest risks that we are going to have to take is just being the passive observer and trusting that what is going on is exactly what's supposed to be happening. And that trust, the way that we are meant to be showing that trust to Sal, to the source of abundant love, and to everybody who has their hands on, all of the things that are going on around us, the way that we show our trust in this situation is by really fully surrendering control. And this can be kind of scary because we hear a lot like, control the things that you can and let go of the things that you cannot control. But the biggest theme here is we are not going to be able to control the things that we can control. You can. You absolutely can. You can look at all the things that you believe are in your power to control, and you can work real hard to keep your grip firmly on those things and try to, fix relationships or fix situations at work or fix whatever is going on between like family bonds. Anything that is around you that you like feel as though, okay, well, everything is chaos, but like this I can control. The tough thing that like drink some water because this is the hard pill. The tough thing that this reading keeps hammering into me, and as a recovering perfectionist, this is hard for me to hear, is that even the things that you believe are in your control are not yours to control. And I'm really seeing that in the observer, the palms open hands. We're not like tapping on the glass going, why is it blank? Why is it empty? Why don't I know what's going on? We're not trying to get it to do anything that it's supposed to do. We are just hands open. We are not gripping the steering wheel. We are hands open. We are hands off. And one of the things that I love telling to people in card readings is when you are gripping tightly to something, then you cannot receive. It's impossible to receive like this. Hand me something. Okay, that didn't work. Hand me something now. Whoa. You can carry a lot now, huh? If you have been waiting for big manifestations to come into your life, if you have been trying to do your best to control what you can so that you speed things up in certain processes that you're waiting for the results of, if you have a dream that you just have this like really solid idea of, and you just can't seem to let go, even though the chaos of Aquarius season is going to start to kind of like swoosh some of that away, and I don't know how a better way to say that. If you have all these things and you cannot release control and allow some things to fall by the wayside, then you are not going to reinforce the faith that you believe that you have in source of abundant love, in God, in the universe, whatever you believe in. You are not going to be reinforcing that faith. And Sal's gonna go, okay, I was trying to help you. I was trying to take everything off of your plate so you could fucking chill. So as the water bearer kind of pours out all of this water, you could just ride the wave. You chose to go and doggy paddle up on the surface instead of just be open and spread out and float. The easiest possible thing. What surrender really looks like is that floating energy. The faith that you have in that co-creator, source, universe, God, that helps you with your manifestations, that makes your dreams come true, that gives you the results of all the processes that you are involved in, is not going to be able to do a whole lot in the next 4 weeks if you can't find ways to keep releasing and releasing and releasing every single day. Just waking up and going, it is so. I don't have to do anything today other than what my intuition tells me. And I have a feeling that I started this whole video off with like, rest and integrate, my darling, because the only thing we might be able to really do or accomplish is that long needed rest, that long awaited integration period. And I think a great reinforcement of this whole like trust and taking the risk that is putting your full faith in just being the observer and taking your hands off of the wheel are these two cards, the power and the love card. I mean, what two big fucking energies, power and love. This feels like a reinforcement and a connection of these two messages of like, let fucking go so that you can fully just swan dive into your faith, and also acknowledge that when you try to control things, when you try to keep your hands on everything so that you can find solutions and fix and fix and fix. Okay, hello my fellow perfectionists, hello my fellow people pleasers who are just trying to do for others what we cannot get done for ourselves sometimes. What we will find is that if we don't relax and let go of this idea that we have to fix by ourselves, or that we need to do a whole lot to prove, to sell how much we want our manifestations. If we don't give ourselves that ease and that grace of not needing to solve everything and not needing to do everything by ourselves, then we are never going to see all of these other potentials and all these other open doors and all of these other possibilities, which goes back to the paradox of the share wisdom, that it's not necessarily your wisdom that is going to solve everything. Sometimes you need to ask for other people who not just love you, but really respect you. And again, like, this goes back to the Capricorn season message, which was, you know, there are some people that you have love for and maybe wrote stories in your heart around how much you want them in your life, or how much you believed that you would be in their lives. I mean, the friend that I talk about in my Capricorn season wrap-up video from the lessons that I learned through the Cap season sort of energies was that I had a childhood friend that I got to see in person, and realized it wasn't just that like they didn't want to hang out with me and be friends with me anymore. It's like, I don't vibe with them. I don't know that I love them, but I don't know that I have a whole lot of respect for the way that they live their life, because the way that they were treating me was disrespectfully and discompassionately. And that didn't feel good, and that didn't feel like the kind of person that I would choose to be friends with now, and that I would choose to spend more of my time with. I had this story that like I would be at their wedding, and that I would be their bridesmaid, or maybe even their maid of honor, because we've been best friends for that long. And the story that empowered me the most when I walked away was, we are different people now, and I'm so happy for them that they're getting married, and that I'm not a part of it because I don't feel good in their energy. And if I were to, really rely on them for any of their wisdom, it would feel wrong. It would feel misaligned, and it would feel like this isn't even the kind of advice that the kind of person that I would ask for advice from. So while we have this sort of like trusting, faithful asking for different perspectives message, there's also this message of like, remember who you are, and pay attention to only asking and receiving advice from, seeking advice from people who empower you, respect you, and love you unconditionally. Don't need you to be anything other than what you are in order to give you love and give it without expectation of you changing or of you being the kind of person that they want you to be. Those are the kinds of people that we need to be receiving advice from at this time, because the reason that unsolicited advice has felt so bad in the past is because we've received it from people who have given us advice wanting us to change, and then getting mad at that sort of unresolved expectation of like us doing what they think that we should be doing and following their advice. The point of seeking advice from others at this time over the next month during Aquarius season is to get out of your head and back into your heart, and the heart of possibility, which is just like this, like if you think of the heart, it's got like all of these vessels and all of these chambers and stuff. And if you've been living in one chamber of your heart for a while, then seeking advice and seeking wisdom from others might help you to explore and expand and get into other places within you that, yeah, I forgot that I could be that. I forgot that I could do that. I forgot that that was something that makes me feel good. And the reason that I have you in my life is to be a mirror for that goodness. The reason that I have you as one of my respected few that I really trust, in the same way that I trust Sal, is because you are going to give me that wisdom that is honest and pure, and maybe not something that I am going to take, but it's absolutely something that I am going to take into consideration. Because again, the point of this season is not to go and be making decisions and not to be acting upon everything. It's just to be sort of integrating, expanding, processing, resting, letting ourselves really be open to all of the possibilities before making decisions, before setting deadlines, before structuring our lives. This is sort of a continuation of the it's the New Year's, but don't set any resolutions message, because it's still winter. It's not time. It's not time for us to structure and organize. It's still time for us to go within, and helping us to go within is the culmination of all the wisdom that we are going to receive. It's sort of like a bunch of journaling prompts. They're going to help us to see different sides of ourselves and to reflect differently on the ways that we've been approaching things. And to help us even further with this message is the Oracle of the Goddess cards, to help us reflect more deeply on this message. And we've got 3 cards here. We've got head, heart, and home cards. 2 head cards, because like I said, Aquarius, got that heady air sign energy where it's just kind of all buzzing and bubbling up here sometimes. So I think we need a little bit more help in that realm. And that's what we've got with the goddess Lakshmi saying to think honestly. She's saying any theory about life must help us live better when put into practice. Discover what you really believe and live by it. Be honest with yourself and others. Demand equal directness from all. A positive outlook attracts good fortune. An open mind enables you to see or create opportunities others would miss. The unenlightened call this luck. And again, this is sort of a, this is a facet of the message that I think is really powerful and important, which is any theory about life must help us live better when put into practice. If in Aquarius season you find that things are getting turned on their head and you feel sort of out of control and you're trying desperately to grab onto anything that you can control, it is possible that your theory about life, that the things that you believe about what you have control over, are not actually helping you to live better in practice. In theory, yeah, I live so much better when I have control over things because it gives me less anxiety about what might potentially happen. In practice, doing a whole lot just to erase like this little area of anxiety is not exactly balanced all the time. Does that make sense? Sometimes we have these anxieties that are so inflated in our minds that it's hard for us to see how trying to control everything around them so that we can keep those things that we are anxious about from happening or from happening worse than they already are, maybe. That sort of thinking, that sort of mindset and that frame of mind of I am going to do as much as I can so that this little pocket of worry can be silenced and be quieted, doesn't exactly help us to live better. And what Lakshmi is saying is that we need to have a positive outlook on things. And that positive outlook, again, is trust, is thinking honestly and being honest with ourselves. Even if I try to control this thing that I am anxious about, how much time and effort and energy is it going to cost me? And will it be worth it? Because I have anxiety sometimes about possibly getting pregnant again now that it's happened and really not wanting to have to go through a second abortion. And the daily and weekly, we need to use this and we need to use that and we need to use this and we need to use that as far as like contraceptive methods is one way for me to think that I'm controlling things. And then when the anxiety still happens, even though I've put in all this work to control things, what ends up happening is I try to control them even more, and I start to do a bunch of backflips, mental backflips, to prepare myself for the inevitability that I will be pregnant again, even in spite of all that I've done to prevent it from happening. And I love that I have a partner who just has another perspective from me and can share that wisdom from time to time and just says to me, why don't you just take a pregnancy test and just see if you are pregnant? And I go, oh fuck. I forgot that there was an easy way. I forgot that there was an easy way to deal with this thing and to ease my anxiety. And I go and I do it, and it turns out negative, and I go, now I don't have to worry. Now I don't have to worry for another 2 weeks, another 10 whole days. Because when you're anxious and worried, you're not really thinking honestly with yourself. You're not really in a mindset. You're not even in a state of mind where you can be honest with yourself about what all of the possibilities are. Which is why seeking wisdom from other people, or even just telling them I'm stressed about this thing, got any good ideas, is going to be so potent and so powerful at this time. It's going to be the most effective thing. I'll tell you what, it's going to be essential, because we have such sensitivity sometimes to what's going on in our lives that it's hard for us to get the guidance that we need. And Arizali is going to give us a message that at the very end, I already know that the last two messages here are going to help us to clarify a few ways that seeking wisdom needs to not look. And also a few reasons that seeking wisdom is a benefit and is going to really help us take our hands off the wheel and try new things and do things that we haven't done before, like taking a back seat and doing the not doing, if that makes sense. So Arizali, goddess of sensitivity, is saying, think charitably. We are all here to help each other make the most of life. Those in obvious need deserve sympathy, guidance, and help. Give aid and comfort to those in need, but first examine the motives of all involved, including yourself. Focusing on the needs of others can be an escape from loneliness or your own needs. Here's the first message. The second message is, idealizing another can result from deception or a lack of self-worth. Now, focusing on the needs of others to escape from your own needs might be one of the ways that you may interpret the seeking wisdom part of this message. One of the ways that I have tried to feel better about all of the crazy things that are going on in my life, or to distract myself, is to get involved in other people's business. And again, that has looked like getting wrapped up in family drama where there's triangulation happening. It's well, she said this about her, and now this is what she's saying, kind of bullshit. And I try to jump in and help, and I'm thinking charitably of just like, I just want to help. I just want everybody to feel better about this situation. Let me just piece things together. But what it's actually done is kept me from feeling my own peace of mind, and it's kept me from feeling appreciated and valued, which is the second part of the message. Idealizing another can result from deception or lack of self-worth. Sometimes we deceive ourselves that people need us more than that people need us more than they actually do. Because if we go hands off, chances are people are going to find their way. Chances are very good that the adults in our lives have solved problems on their own and have resolved conflict before and can do it again without us getting involved and without us interfering. Okay, people pleasers? The thing about deceiving ourselves that we need to step in is that it comes from a place of low self-worth. It comes from a place of wanting to prove ourselves and wanting to feel accepted, wanting to feel loved, wanting to feel like we're a part of a whole. And especially if you are an Aquarian listening to this message about the Aquarius season energy, then you might feel like, yeah, if I've been just like this weird alien black sheep in the family, trying to fix things for other people, has been my way, has been my go-to love language. Let me fix things for you. Let me give you advice, unsolicited, because I just want to be there for you. I just want to guide you and help you and show you the sympathy that I'm feeling. The most compassionate thing you can do is witness that they are suffering and that it is causing you suffering, and do something about it. And the first person you got to put the mask on when the plane starts going down is whose? Yours. You have to think charitably for yourself first in this season, and pay attention to why you are getting involved in other people's shit, or why you are trying to give other people your wisdom and your advice instead of doing less, receiving more. Because I promise you, if you are focusing on what's right for other people and what's right for everybody else and what other people need, what you are going to find is that you are no longer available for your own needs, and you are going to find that the manifestations and the dreams that you are working on, you are not going to get more clear on. Because whether you realize it or not, Sal is always trying to give you what I call no thank you bites, which is whenever you think, I'm not gonna like that, or I'm not into it. A no thank you bite was something that my mom did with us, of just, I know you think you're not gonna like it, but just try it, and after you get a taste, then that is the time when you can say no thank you, and we won't offer it to you again. And the no thank you bite has carried over into so many other areas of my life, and I hope carries over into yours, because what Sal is trying to do, the cosmic chef, is trying to feed you many different bites of things, and some of those you say no thank you to before you've even tried them, which is why hearing other people's frame of reference and learning about the possibilities is like a great way to open your mind to taking those bites that you were saying no thank you to before. And also, it's a great way to clarify and hone in on exactly what you want in your manifestations. For example, I had on my list of partner no-nos, things that I do not want, for a long time, smoking, cigarette smoking specifically. And it was a no thank you that I didn't even take a bite of, that I didn't even acknowledge, was something that I needed to reassess. And Sal was like, okay, but the thing is, what if they are a cigarette smoker? What if the person that we are preparing for you, we're preparing you two for each other, and you need to be ready. When this comes, you need to let go of control. You need to stop gripping the no cigarette smoking steering wheel so that you can release control and receive exactly the wonderful thing that we are trying to give you. We need you to be open to the possibility that maybe that is something that is not a full no thank you. That is like a, okay, I'll accept it this way, but I won't accept it that way. That is so much different from a 100% no, complete and full no. And what I realized is I have some friends who are cigarette smokers. And the thing that I thought would be weird is like kissing cigarette smokers, that I just would be like, oh, this is gross. Like, I want to have somebody that I want to kiss all the time. And I realized like, oh, there are some cigarette smokers who fucking brush their teeth and care about their oral hygiene and take care of that kind of thing and are maintaining it all the time. And once I realized that, and there wasn't just this stereotype that I was saying no to over and over and over, once I realized like, oh, I don't like that part of this, but I like this, I was able to narrow down what it was I was saying no to and also what I was saying yes to. And there were a lot of other things like that on my partner list, on like my dream partner list. And if you look at my 5 Secrets to Major Manifestation ebook that's on my site, if you go to vforvibrant.com, you will see the list that I ended up with. That was the thing that as soon as I took all these no thank you bites and I narrowed things down, Sal was like, okay, we're ready. And things started shifting so fucking fast. As soon as I had that list just anchored. So if you are in the midst of manifesting something right now or someone, I guarantee you, this is the time to take those no thank you bites, to realize that idealizing a certain thing is not the way to go. That stereotyping certain things, not the way to go. Open yourself to the opportunities and the possibilities, because that list for me manifested me the person who owns and lives in this apartment, who is my polyamorous partner that I have been just itching for, just salivating for years. And we just reached our 1-year anniversary, and it's going fucking better than I imagined and better than I expected. If you want more tips on major manifestation like this, be sure to go and get that ebook on my site, because there are other tips. There are 5 whole tips on trust as well. And again, this is the season. Where are you? This is the season for learning how to trust. And that is basically what major manifestation is about. So go and check it out, because I talk about a lot of things on there that are juicy and helpful, and I think need to be heard right now. The space that we're in is not a go and get it kind of energy. It is a prepare to wait kind of energy. And again, this is another thing that is in the 5 Secrets of Major Manifestation, is trusting in the timing. Because when I would ask about my partner that I knew was coming, the card that I got over and over again, I'm sorry, Passway, I don't mean to treat you that way, but the card that I got over and over was the Goddess of Endurance, the Prepare to Wait card, which told me endurance is needed for your long climb. Keep the image of your goal fixed in your mind. Emulate and associate with whomever you think can further your plans. Success may appear to be always in the future or in another's power, but this is not the case. You are in the process of becoming who you must be to achieve your goal. Be realistic and patient. This is the "it's not time yet" card. And the reason that you're watching this video right now and you're getting this message and all of these messages is because there's probably been some anxiety around that, around the timing and wanting things to happen and feeling like, I've done so much. I've done everything that anybody has ever told me about manifestation. I've done all those things. Why hasn't it happened? Why hasn't everything that I've been doing produced the results that I'm looking for? It's probably because you're doing that discompassionate thing. That is believing you are the only one who is doing the doing, not giving over much of the creative process and the manifestation process to Sal, the source of abundant love. So we're going to read what Goddess Divyana has to say. Goddess of protection. And I hope that this hits your heart, because this is what this card is for, okay? So before we even get there, take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Drink some water. Get into receptive mode, because we are nearing the end of this reading, and I really want you to feel like it is possible for you to let go, because that is going to be crucial in effectively giving Sal permission to change things up in exactly the way that you need, and maybe you didn't think of, and maybe you didn't want, but need, so that you can receive everything that you are desiring. And use this time when you are not doing to keep fixating on that image in your mind and get clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer. Get very specific. Goddess Divyana is saying, you must forgive yourself and others so healing can take place. Accept mistakes and painful memories as educational lessons that had to be learned. The child within all must be accepted, loved, and cared for. See yourself and others as children in the same classroom. Be nice. Unconditional love and understanding can then be given and received. This is a message that I feel like the first sentence, you must forgive yourself and others so healing can take place, as well as accept mistakes and painful memories as educational lessons that had to be learned, is a reinforcing of the message of idealizing another can result from deception or lack of self-worth. If you watch the Capricorn season wrap-up video, which is shorter than my normal astrology season videos, so if you want to watch something really quick, that's going to be the one for you to get that Capricorn energy understood. I talk about a person in my life, the other friend that I had stories about, who I idealized out of a lack of self-worth. And I was trying to manifest their life, but their life, what I realized once I connected with somebody who helped me to, who shared with me their wisdom and helped me to see another perspective and another possibility of what was really going on there. What they helped me see is that the true story is their life is smoke and mirrors. The success that I believe that they have does not exist, because they are living a life that I do not want. They are living a life of hustle and grind and excessive energy use and burnout and substance abuse and relationship abuse, narcissistic abuse. They're just living this life that is not for me, is just not for me. And if I were to want to manifest their life just because I've idealized how it looks on the outside, then that absolutely comes from a lack of self-worth. Comes from a place where I haven't forgiven myself and them for the mistakes that were made and the way that we had to learn things and heal from each other. There was a part of me that was still holding on to a story that I hadn't cut ties with. And I'm really glad that I did that during Capricorn season, because now I feel free. Now I feel like I don't have to see my life through the lens of I'm not doing enough, or I haven't done enough, which is what I was just saying, is like the doing is not how I want to manifest. There's like a doing, being, integrating sort of wave, instead of like doing. Then when do you ever get to rest? When do you ever get to integrate? When do you ever get to celebrate how far you've come? When do you ever get to pause and just enjoy what you have, what you manifested what you were asking for to manifest a few years ago that you actually have now? When do you get to celebrate that while you are in the midst of focusing on the manifestations that are coming in months and years to come? There need to be these waves and need to be these cycles, because that is how you show yourself compassion. That is how you recognize that I am in pain and I am causing my own suffering because I'm never giving myself the time to really process where I am and how I've been approaching things. Again, it's going to be a season of paying attention to your beliefs and your theories about life and whether, when you put them into practice, they are actually benefiting you and they are actually looking and feeling for you like the kind of life that you've been asking for. Does this feel like the life that I've been asking for? Does this feel like connectedness to me? Does this feel like intimacy and vulnerability to me? Does this feel like kindness and honesty to me? Does this feel like respect and beauty and bounty to me? You have to ask yourself those questions. And get used to asking those questions of other people. So that you can get alternate perspectives that help you better shape your own understanding of reality. And if you need a little assistance in fielding questions and answering your own questions, I urge you to check out, also on my website on vforvibrant.com, I urge you to check out the Wandering, which is a 1-hour meditation, guided meditation and journaling practice that gives you prompts for asking all the questions you have and answering those questions in a way that makes you feel so detached from getting it right, detached from the perfectionism, detached from the people pleasing of like just wanting to move on and get to the next right thing so that other people can feel good, and that's when you'll feel good. The Wandering is one of those wonderful things that has helped myself and many clients, not just in that moment, in that hour that they practice with the meditation and the journaling, but also outside of things where they start using the tools that I teach to feel better in their daily lives. It is, I can't say enough about it. Go and check it out. Go and check it out and consider getting that for yourself if that is something that you want to get better at, is not approaching things in such a perfectionist way, but coming at it from like a possibilities way. So we've got our messages of needing to ask for wisdom and seek wisdom and not necessarily take action on it, because what we're practicing is a level of trust in the receiving of how Sal is moving things, moving a lot of pieces in our lives so that we can just experience the changes that we wanted to see without needing to control and without needing to do so fucking much. And processing those relationships that we've been idealizing is going to help processing who it is we really respect, receiving wisdom from is going to help, and acknowledging that it's not time, that we need to wait. It is not time to act and to move just yet is going to help us as well. So we've got 3 affirmation cards from the Super Attractor deck that are going to help us keep in mind all of these messages and all of these facets of Aquarius energy that we're going to be receiving. The first one is: the universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love. And it is a feather because it is it's for an air sign. And it is a message that reminds us that we can pay attention to our beliefs. We can feel the anxiety of some of our beliefs coming into play as they move through our thoughts, and realizing I need to breathe because I haven't been breathing, and wow, have I been aligned with love? Have I been aligned with Sal, the source of abundant love? As I've been thinking these things, as I've been sort of mired in these beliefs. And once I realign with love, the universe will powerfully respond. That was a tongue twister. The next one is, I believe I'm worthy of feeling good. This is another self-worth one, where we often feel like if we're not producing and we're not doing and we're not going, then we haven't earned the right to feel good. But if I believe I'm worthy of feeling good when I'm resting, I believe I'm worthy of feeling good when I am taking into account that other things are going on that I'm not meant to get involved in, because if I do, I will only get in my own way. I will only get in my own best goods way. And I deserve to feel good now, because if I feel good now, then Sal is gonna be like, ooh, let me make you feel better. Wow, you're aligned with feeling good. Here, let me send you some things to reinforce that and to just mirror exactly how good you are feeling. This is a really good one for just everyday use, but also for the next few weeks that we are going to be in Aquarius season. And the last one is about the people that we are setting, and also not the people that we are asking and also not asking advice from, the people that we are going to seek and not seek advice from. Okay, I am kind and loving toward others while creating clear boundaries that protect my good feeling emotions. May this affirmation serve you and reinforce for you. I've been using reinforce a whole lot today. May this affirmation uplift you as you set boundaries with people who give you unsolicited advice, and as you set boundaries for the advice that you are seeking, because sometimes it can verge on, wow, you're asking for advice from me and now let me fix your whole life. You get to set boundaries that are clear and kind with people that you seek advice from around what specifically you would like advice for. You're allowed to do that. It's not just like a buffet where when you open yourself up to receiving, you're just opening yourself up to like all kinds of criticism. No. That is not what's going on here. You get to affirm that you are kind and loving while creating clear boundaries that make you feel good. If at any point while receiving wisdom you are not feeling good, drink some water. Take a few deep breaths, and maybe even before you go and you seek wisdom, you anchor into these, which are hack your nervous system, evidence-based ways to reduce anxiety and retrain your nervous system. This might be a great way to set yourself up for success, set your own protected energy up for success before seeking advice from people, and doing that intentionally. So the first one that we have that you are welcome to do right now, this is a great one, is the self-hold sequence. So place one palm flat on the base of your skull and the other on your forehead. Breathe into the space between your hands until you feel a shift. And a shift can feel like any of the following: a feeling of flow, a change in breath pattern, mood, temperature, sensation, etc. So breathe into the space between your hands until you feel a shift. If you want to pause the video and keep going until you feel a shift, do that. Hand moves from back of your head to your heart. Breathe into the space between your hands until you feel a shift. Hand from your forehead moves to your belly. Breathe until you feel the shift. Hand from your heart moves to your lower back. Breathe until you feel the shift. That's why it's called a self-hold sequence. You're just sequencing this hold of different parts of your body, and you're allowing yourself to become present with them, which is a wonderful way to calm the nervous system and get in touch with any anxiety that you might be feeling about setting boundaries or seeking wisdom from people that you really admire and respect, maybe, whose wisdom you do put a lot of stock in. Sometimes that can be one of the most stressful things, is feeling like, oh my gosh, I have so much to gain from this. I hope I ask the right questions, or I hope I hear enough, or I hope I'm good enough to even ask them for help for this wisdom in the form of maybe even mentorship, which is a really powerful way to recover from perfectionism and to recover from people pleasing, especially from perfectionism, because then you're gonna get into the mindset of like, I don't have to be excellent at this. I just get to be new, and this other person can show me a little bit more of what I could do or how I could think, the mindset shift that needs to happen, so that when I do get to the doing, because we're not doing yet, you see, even I'm stuck in the pattern of the doing. And that's okay. I'm working on it. Even when I want to get into a mindset shift so that when I do get back to the doing, I'm ready. I have a theory about life that is going to, in practice, make my life better. And it's thanks to this person who has done a little bit more than me about things. The last card from the Hack Your Nervous System is Anchor into Calm. Identify 3+ answers in each category that bring you a sense of calm and balance. First category is who, which, for example, includes friends, family, or an animal. Next category is what, and the examples are drinking coffee, reading a book. These are opportunities to identify answers that bring you a sense of calm and balance. So what is it that brings you calm and balance? Where are places that bring you calm and balance? Is it the forest, the ocean, your room? When? Think of a specific moment that brought you calm and balance, or think of a pattern of moments that bring you calm and balance. Is it whenever you hug a certain person? That is a good when. That's a good memory or a moment. When you start to feel anxious or stressed, bring up one of these memories and dive fully into the sensory experience of it. What did you see? How did your body feel? What did you smell, taste, or touch? What do you notice change within you as you remember in this way? Again, these are all about getting into your body so that the things that are going on in your head are fully integrated and not just analyzed, but processed by way of letting everything that is important, your head, your heart, your gut, your sacrum, your genital region, if you feel like you think with your genitals. Sometimes I know some of us really feel that way and feel that it's a creative drive. Allow all of those parts of you to process when you are going through these beliefs, when you are shifting things, when you are releasing control. Allow yourself to use all of these tools and all of these affirmations so you can, again, feel better about the theories of life that you have been working with all this time. Thank you for giving yourself the time to be a part of this reading and to receive all the messages in it. Would love to know if anything stands out for you or if anything feels particularly hard and like maybe you would like some guidance. Let me know in the comments, and that way I can create some resources or direct you to some resources that already exist so that you can get what you need and continue to develop and cultivate an awareness of what it is that you are getting really clear on, so you can take confident steps forward toward the life that you truly desire. Like this video if it was something that you liked, and be sure to subscribe so that when the Aquarius check-in comes around, you can be here for it, and you can even exchange some of your stories of the things that you have seen happen and the changes that you've witnessed. If you feel like this is the kind of thing that would resonate with somebody else, share it. And as always, I love you so much. I believe you are deserving of all the love you desire. And if that's hard for you to believe, I hope that you are on your way there. I hope that you want to believe you are deserving of all the love you desire, because that's a really great place to start. Thank you. I love you. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. Mwah!